There comes a moment in every person's life when they realize something uncomfortable. Not everyone will respect you. Not everyone will value you. Not everyone will see your worth. And in that moment, you are faced with a choice. You can spend your life trying to convince the world that you matter, or you can decide, quietly and firmly, that you already do. This decision is where self-respect begins. Self-respect is not loud. It does not beg for attention. It does not demand approval. It exists in silence, in your daily choices, in the promises you keep to yourself when no one else is watching. It is the way you speak to yourself in your lowest moments. It is the way you protect your time, your energy, and your peace. People often confuse self-respect with ego, but ego is fragile. Ego needs constant validation. Ego wants to be seen. Self-respect is different. Self-respect does not need an audience. It is built in private. It is built when you choose discipline over comfort, when you wake up early even when you don't feel like it, when you continue working toward your goals even when motivation disappears, when you keep going, not because someone is watching, but because you gave your word to yourself. Every time you break a promise to yourself, your mind remembers. And slowly, without realizing it, you stop trusting yourself. But every time you keep a promise, no matter how small, you rebuild that trust. You tell yourself, I am someone who shows up. This is where confidence is born, not from praise, not from attention, but from self-trust. Self-respect also reveals itself in what you tolerate. When you lack self-respect, you accept less than you deserve. You stay in places that drain you. You remain in relationships that diminish you. You allow people to cross boundaries because you fear losing them. But when you respect yourself, something changes. You stop negotiating your worth. You realize that peace is more valuable than approval. You understand that walking away is not weakness, it is strength. Because self-respect means choosing yourself, even when it is uncomfortable. Even when it is lonely, even when it is difficult, there is a quiet power in people who respect themselves. They do not chase attention. They do not beg to be understood. They do not force themselves into places where they are not valued. They simply walk their path with clarity. And strangely, the less they seek validation, the more they receive respect. Because people can sense it. They can sense when someone knows their worth. Self-respect also requires honesty. It requires you to face yourself fully, to acknowledge your weaknesses, to accept your mistakes, to take responsibility for your life, not with shame, but with ownership. Because self-respect is not about believing you are perfect, it is about refusing to abandon yourself. It is about knowing that even when you fail, you will stand back up. Even when you doubt yourself, you will continue forward. Even when the world does not see your value, you will not forget it. Your relationship with yourself sets the standard for every other relationship in your life. People learn how to treat you by watching how you treat yourself. When you prioritize your growth, your health, your time, and your boundaries, you send a clear message. You teach the world that you matter, and more importantly, you teach yourself. Self-respect changes everything. It changes how you walk, how you speak, how you think, how you live. You stop chasing everything and start choosing carefully. You stop seeking approval and start building inner approval. You stop proving your worth and start living it. Because the truth is simple. The moment you begin to respect yourself, your entire life begins to change. Not instantly, not dramatically, but steadily. You become stronger, calmer, clearer, and no longer dependent on the world to tell you who you are, because you already know. Self-respect is not something you are born with, it is something you build. One decision at a time, one promise at a time, one boundary at a time, and once you build it, no one can take it away.